the Sicilian Akai Grok at the center of the map. I think Aurora won the draft there, but Obsidia is still the wild card of this draft, considering that we're still trying to find the limit for her in this metagame.
Here we go. Game number 1 in this contest between Twisted Minds and Aurora Gaming.
Welcome to Mobile Legends.
Coming up clutch. I think they're hedging on the fact that there might be time since it's a Sicilian on the other side and you're waiting for Dominkite to come online with that mid-game power spike.
I like that you mentioned this too, Renmar, because I still feel like that's a big question from even the community is this Obsidia, is she good? Is she underperforming? Kaloy is going to feel the Rampart. Okay. But, oh, and yeah, by the way, this is the new skin that you guys are seeing here in the hands of Kaloy right now with the Guinevere.
Aspirants Unite.
All right. For a second there, I thought there would be a chance that Kaloy could seal away the purple buff. Watching Dominkite, intense duel in the lane.
Oh, no. Oh!
Oh! Is he? Okay. Yeah, he doesn't have the flicker, so he's not going to force it. But Nosha needs to be careful. It doesn't look like he doesn't fully grasp the duel yet.
In mid.
Okay. UA's in trouble. Pop the Purify is going to be fine. But yeah, going to this, I think you can already see every lane is basically duking it out 1v1 to get that first blood going. Again, these are two teams that have high percentages both in first blood.
But despite that, Aurora have won already from mid to top to bottom. They're pushing back Twisted Minds.
Yeah, everywhere in the map they lost their respective traits and duels. And Twisted Minds really need to tell themselves, like, we cannot afford to lose a lane and go back yet again. So Dominkite's actually holding, freezing the minion waves because he knows he can just play around the bushes to surprise Nosha, because that's how Nosha got, well, surprised in the last trade they had in the gold lane.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, what is the timing on Obsidia? You know, like how, because usually you look at a couple marksmen. Oh, hold on. Kaloy. Okay, he's out. You look at some of the marksmen, like Granger, for example. You know you can hit your power spike at these certain items. Same with the Bruno and everything else. But it's like Obsidia, I feel like she's late game eccentric. Edward, he's got many people to deal with. The final shot's going to be used, though. He does escape. Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. Lansu will pick up the kill anyway. And now Light trying to retreat here, but that might just be a turtle in the hands of Twisted off of that kill of Edward. Unless Dominkite does something about it. Kaloy takes a shot, but MP will still get the turtle.
Great committal there on the flicker by Lansu. It really made sure that Twisted Minds will have an advantage, but Aurora were still healthy enough to contest it. MP the King won the turtle though. So typical Sean tactics, playing the Kimi in mid, rushing the Sky Piercer. That is his signature. And look for Twisted Minds to keep racking up kills.
Down in the gold lane, Dominkite goes for the bold choice to hit the Sky Piercer first, understanding that he has to expedite his power spike ahead of Nosha, so an extra 2 or 3 stacks this early on against the Obsidia should help. And as well, looking at his XP gain, he's like, what, a quarter of a bar ahead from Nosha.
Yeah, he's
so that's still a win on the lower half for Aurora.
Looking at the items now where the gold is at. Yeah, a slight lead here for Dominkite. And considering that there's a Sky Piercer on both sides now, that means you're demanding perfection pretty much at this point for execution, because if you give too much kills onto that Kimi...
Traction Pulse into the combo to get the Purify out from Yue again, and he'll disengage. So that's a battle spell. That's a resource down for Aurora.
Yeah. No flicker committed there on the side of Twisted Minds. Still, the reach advantage of Aurora might prove to be the bane of Twisted Minds later on. But it seems so far the Twisted Minds are playing around the Sicilian very well. It seems like they've scouted Yue well enough. But Yue is still hitting some pretty on-point Sanguine Claws that mess up Twisted Minds just a little bit. That might rack up eventually.
Yep, Yue's positioning is very telling. Even with Dominkite checking this right flank, his right flank, and Light checking the other, he doesn't want to cross the river. He's keeping himself safe, especially since he does not have a Purify. Turtle spawning in the upper quarter, same spot as the first major objective in this game. A majority presence from Twisted Minds. They're first to the pit here.
Yeah, Turtle going to be started up. Dominkite's there this time. Actually, the entire team is for this one. While they clear out mid for Twisted, they'll go ahead and get in position, and now Turtles held, Rampart dropped down, but MP will be fine. Edward taking a couple shots here. Lansu's going to jump in with the bravest fighter. Will take a couple claws. Kaloi jumps in with a Requiem, pushing them back with their fighting. They get pinned down with a heavy spin. Domenkite gets a kill. And they'll back off for now. They got 2 bodies from Twisted, and it looks like they're going to be in a position to take this turtle. Aurora pushing them back a little bit further. Lansu alongside Nasha are here. Final slash again as Domenkite picks up that one. And they'll force off Nasha and Sean, and they fought for the turtle, and they got it.
Amazing response by Aurora, dismantling Twisted Mind's front line. It's clear that without Lansu, without MP the King, there's nothing that Aurora has to stop him.
Yeah, the counterplay juggle that Kaloi and MP the King did after Lansu was brought down really low and forced to go back, and Kaloi and MP the King decided to engage for Twisted Minds. That was great, but Aurora's counter engage to that was perfect.
Whoa. Edward jumping in, switch migration again into the Requiem, and he should be taken out from this. A final slash. Oh, he's still alive. Edward makes it happen. This is what the Arlot has been doing time and time again. How did he survive?
He straight up zeroed them, man. What a play by Edward, and perfect timing and rotation as well by Yue.
That was before he built the Oracle.
Yeah, that was right before that. That was him holding on to the brink. That's pure Festival of Blood fighter emblem stuff brought out by the Arlot. I almost said something else.
Edward J. the Padap, Mr. Consistent, leading Twisted Minds into a trap. And just like that, Aurora are up 3,000 gold.
Like, is that the fault of the hero Arlot, or is that just because, you know, Obsidia doesn't have that much damage? Because that was a full combo from Kaloi, man.
That was all Edward.
That was all Edward, and maybe slightly unfair hero design.
I mean,
Ouch.
Again, you know, he didn't even have that much, but right now they're going to go for this mid turret. Lansu already using the Bravest Fighter to keep them off of it, so they get nearly the turret down. But they're going to make their way here down bot. I don't think Light's going to be able to find anything off of that, so it's just Twisted really trying to find ways to keep this game from slipping out of their hands.
Sicilian too good for Aurora. This is why, even though before we saw the pick for Yua, we were already suggesting it. It's that good. They look that comfortable playing around it. All that reach, all that sudden crowd control. Twisted Minds in the sizzle reel that we saw at the start of the day, they did mention that they are susceptible to just getting taken down by veteran instincts, veteran plays that they don't see coming. This is just pure veterancy and comfort by Yue. The positioning, the timing, all perfect for the Sicilian.
Really good instincts and really good mechanics. Have nothing against veteran experience. And now Kaloi gets caught here.
It's going to be used again. Kaloi on the run. Edward's going to jump in. Heavy spin's going to be able to lock down MP. A final slash going to be used too. They already get the Purify out from Nasha. He's trying to get away, but he has no space, so Rampart cuts him off, but they'll fight anyway. Kaloi does knock up through the spatial, but here's Domeng now firing off Rhapsodies and Sonatas. They'll only get MP out of all of that, but Aurora wins that fight.
A little short on the response. I'm sure Aurora wanted to walk away with more, and I don't think losing Yue was part of the short-term planning, but still great recovery. Twisted Minds showing that they still have a little bit of fight.
Yeah, they're still lacking the damage though. Maybe just a little bit more items on the Kimi, just a little bit more as well for the Obsidia, because even though Nasha's getting some ultimates in, there's also really good tracking by Edward. Every time it looks like Nasha's ready to pop in and go in with the ultimate full blast, Edward shows up with a final slash out of nowhere to mess up the flow of the Obsidia.
Yep, it seems like Twisted Minds are short a Purify. Maybe just one. There's a jump on the Demon Kite. Does not result to anything. The pressure's just too much.
Whoa, too much damage coming out from Yue. MP's got to run. Demon Kite cuts him off, and he'll heavy spin back in. Double kill for Demon Kite. Edward wants to fight under the tier 2. They might just grab this turret and get ready for the next objective here, but easy kills for Aurora on that one.
Too much reach. Even though they dive in, they just get blasted. And somehow, it looks like even though they're so up close, Yue can still land a really good Sanguine Claws to get a lot. Kaloi, in fairness to him, he's been getting a lot of the spatial migration and Violet Requiem knockups and setups for Twisted Minds. But again, the problem is they just don't have the damage and they get blasted way before they can get a team fight actually going.
And because of the wanton crowd control that Aurora has, it seems like just throwing out random nukes allow for Edward to just ruin Twisted Mind's formation. Again, a single Sanguine Clause allows for that Vengeance mark to be reset, and then he can just keep going.
So much synergy here in what we're seeing from Aurora's lineup. I'm almost worried if Twisted decides to try to contest this Lord even. 6,000 behind, they just don't really have the damage. You can see right now, Nasha also just got the Haas Claws, so that might help to an extent, but even when he's using the ultimate from the Obsidia, that hunt for bone, and at the same time, the Phantom, the Shadow Meld isn't really doing too much to give him enough space. It's not that much distance that he can gain.
Yeah. We're also reminded, because of all the crowd control that Aurora brings it to the table, this is what we call Lancelot on home for this Arlot. He'll always just have someone to use Vengeance on. There's always going to be something resetting the Demon Gaze passive trigger for this Arlot, which is why the Arlot eventually ended up becoming a really perfect pick alongside the Granger for the rush, and then everything built up around it. So yes, it looks like they built around for a Sicilian and Granger, but even the Arlot has so much crowd control to work with that I really want to ask Coach MTB, Coach Dexter, did you guys really think about that? Stack so much crowd control so that Edward can just unleash dash, unleash damage?
I think they did, alongside the two heroes that have unlimited scaling. Literally just more hits on the Granger, more hits on the Sicilian. I'm starting to think, the way Aurora's playing now, that they're up 8K and Edward has been dominating and running through Twisted Minds, maybe Lancelot is Arlot at home. Given this draft, it's just, that's how dominating this Arlot is, and he gets away with so much more. Lord crashes into mid lane, waves sink top and bottom, Twisted Minds. They have to deal with so much coming their way.
What do they make this happen, though, is, again, they have to watch the base turrets worked on. They're not going to go down yet. Maybe on this next wave, they're able to get this mid turret down, but they might just be forced into a fight. They're looking for Kaloi's going to be the one to jump in. Attraction Pulse already used as well. They do hold the turret, but MP is gone. Taken away from the team. There's a Conceal from Light. They're going to force this turret up top. They want to take a base turret down here. Mid lane still far away to push in. They've got the bottom wave, but Aurora still doing work here.
Yeah, every time Twisted Minds engages, when Kaloi goes in, MP the King goes in, a Sanguine Clause is ready for Twisted Minds, that even though they want to help their frontliners, they can't.
Oh, Edward's got the flicker available. They're going to force that Rampart into the tech charge. Kaloi has to get out of there. A final slash is going to be used, and Nasha's gone too. A last-ditch effort from Twisted, trying to defend the base. They go in for it. Lancio still jumping in though,
Maniac.
but it's a Maniac for Dome and Kite. And it'll just be MP rolling on out. They've got the cannon minion there. They'll look for the end.
It's over.
Nothing that MP can do, and Aurora will get a Maniac and game one in this best of 3.